All right, let's jump right into this week's explainer. It's based on a really fantastic essay by Charles Paul Jones, and it's all about our obsession with having a plan and what happens when the universe, well, decides to make a mess of it.
I mean, we all do this, right? You make your to-do lists, you block out your calendar, you try to build this perfectly organized little system to control every minute of your day. We think, if we're just disciplined enough, life will go according to our script. It's just human nature to want to be in the driver's seat.
And there it is, the question that is right at the heart of this entire story. It's a little shocking, maybe a little funny, but it gets right to the point. Sometimes the most important lessons show up in the most unexpected, and let's be honest, messiest ways possible. So let's really break down this central conflict. This is the ultimate battle. Our neat and tidy plans versus the universe and its much bigger, messier agenda.
So on one side, you've got what the author calls our system. That's all about control, order, schedules, you know the drill. But on the other side, there's this deeper order. And this thing, it doesn't care about your schedule. It cares about alignment. It doesn't show up neatly. It usually shows up as a disruption, which we later recognize as, you guessed it, serendipity.
Okay, so now let's get into the story itself, which kicks off with something that seems, frankly, completely impossible. It all starts with a very pure, very simple feeling. The author's wife, Suzanne, is at the local pound and she sees a German Shepherd puppy and has this instant, powerful connection. It's not just a passing thought, it's this deep, gut-level feeling that this is her dog.
But then, the adult machinery, as he calls it, kicks in. You know that voice. All the logical, practical reasons why this is a bad idea start flooding her mind. Not enough time, too much responsibility, the timing is all wrong. So, being a sensible adult, she walks away. And this is where things get wild. Just 3 days after Suzanne says no to her desire, a young German Shepherd literally materializes on the road near their house. She's found by a random couple visiting from Miami who, through a totally bizarre chain of events, end up right in the author's driveway holding the very thing his wife wanted.
Now, what's so fascinating is the author's reaction. He doesn't just dismiss it as a weird coincidence. No, he immediately gets it. He understands that this is a direct response to his wife's unfulfilled wish. It's like the universe heard her, and it just wasn't taking no for an answer.
So they take the dog in for the night, but the story is far from over. Because the real magic, the real turning point, happens because of a very simple, very irritating little mess.
So, being the responsible people they are, they come up with a plan for the next morning. It's simple, it's logical, they're going to drive the found dog over to the animal rescue and have her scanned for a microchip. A perfectly sensible course of action.
And right here, this is the pivot point. Just as they're walking out the door, their own dog, Bonnie, makes a mess. It's annoying, it's poorly timed, and it forces the author to stay behind for a few minutes to clean it up. A classic, frustrating interruption. This tiny, frustrating moment, this completely mundane interruption to their very organized plan, is the hinge on which the entire story swings. It feels like a step backward, a pointless delay, but as it turns out, it was the most important thing that could have happened.
And this brings us to the climax of the story, the moment where it all comes together, what the author calls the universal audit. Because the author was delayed by just those few minutes, the timing of everything is now slightly off. He finally gets outside, and he casually suggests they let the new dog off her leash for just a second. Bad idea. She immediately bolts and starts running straight for a busy highway. Suddenly, this simple errand has turned into a potential disaster.
And then, the script completely flips. In the exact instant the dog is about to hit the road, a man in a dune buggy pulls up out of absolutely nowhere, slams on the brakes, and yells, "That's Sage! That's my dog!" The owner, right there at the exact split second he needed to be.
I mean, just look at the arithmetic of this. It's incredible. If any single one of these things doesn't happen, the whole story falls apart. The owner had to be leaving for his trip at that moment. Bonnie had to make the mess. The delay had to be just long enough. It's this perfect, improbable sequence of events.
And this just nails the core idea, doesn't it? The dog mess, the frustrating delay, the frantic chase, none of it was a random interruption. It was all part of a perfectly coordinated, unseen plan that was way, way smarter than their own.
So, what's the big lesson here? What are we supposed to take away from this absolutely wild story? Well, it's about finding the wisdom that's hidden inside life's disruptions.
The author offers this really powerful way of looking at serendipity.
He says it's not just a happy accident or dumb luck. It's the clarity you get when your own systems, your plans, your schedules, your need for control finally break down. It's in that crack, that failure, that a deeper reality can finally speak up.
And that's the great paradox, isn't it? We build these systems to help us navigate the world, but sometimes they just act like blinders. If their morning had gone perfectly according to their plan, they would have missed the truth entirely. They'd have been stuck in an animal shelter while the dog's actual owner drove right past them.
So this really makes you think about your own life. Think about the last time you got delayed or a plan fell apart and you got really frustrated. What if that annoying setback wasn't really a setback at all?
And we'll end on this powerful idea. Maybe those frustrating interruptions are actually interventions. Maybe it's the universe just clearing the path, dragging our rigid little plans out of the way so we can be in exactly the right place at exactly the right time to get what we truly need, even if, and especially if, it arrives in a mess.